What are they gonna do here?
Probably that.
Temperamental, that's
Good morning.
I think they're actually uploads. Put that little drop down. What do you got?
John,
Yes, sir.
you have
You
the
know the
contract
difference with the SSD?
for ESD4 and ESD5?
Have them right here. You want them?
That's okay.
Okay.
We couldn't find them.
Yeah, no, I just picked them up from Tom.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good.
Good morning, Sheriff.
Sheriff, how's it going?
Good, how are y'all?
Staying busy.
What's going on, Sheriff? Not much.
Okay, good morning to you. Yes. I heard him say September, I was like, oh my God, it's during my heart stopped.
We made a trip to the future and back. We ready? Okay. It is 9 a.m. Monday, September 14th, 2020. Wilson County Commissioners Court is now in session. We'll have the opening prayer by Rick Rutland, chaplain of the Masonic Lodge, Stockdale Masonic Lodge, 4147.
Would you pray with me, please? Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful, glorious day you've given us. We also thank you for all of our many, many blessings, especially this of this wonderful country that we live in. Help us to always look to you for guidance and comfort. Please be with all those who are suffering right now from natural disasters or fires or hurricanes or whatever. Please be with all those who need your assistance right now. Please be with our leaders and give them wisdom and compassion and help them to look to you for guidance. Please watch over us and protect us always, and in the end, take us to you in heaven. In Christ's name we pray.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Rick. And we now have Commissioner Wiley. Yeah, I have lots of trouble with traffic in Stockdale myself.
I had to turn on and go back and go.
Okay, moving right along to agenda item number 3, public comments. Thank Mr. Phillips wants to wait. Here's 2 of these are for the tax hearing, and we have one that's public health, and that's the one I'm going to call right now. It's Elena Blank. Hello, Mr. Langer?
Yes.
This is Judge Jackson, Wilson County Commissioners Court, and we're calling you for public comment.
Okay, is it time for me to speak now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I wanted to say that I'm representing nearly 500 citizens in Wilson County. On August 28th and September 2nd, emails were sent to Wilson County Judge Vicki Jackson regarding the face covering exception to Governor Adams' declaration in GA letter and many previous letters, it appears he has no intention or desire to submit the exemption application to the Texas Department of Emergency Management. In an article from Texas Scorecard, as just another one of many examples, Palmer County Judge Chris Hill says that the Texas ESHS numbers aren't right, they aren't real, and they shouldn't be used to determine public health policy. If Texans don't have confidence in the data then they can't have confidence in public policies that are based on that data. We know our local government officials are relying on faulty ESHS numbers to make decisions that impact all our lives. Yet even with the faulty data, our county judge is not taking the necessary steps to restore individual freedoms in Wilson County. Citizens began distributing a petition on September 10th, requesting Judge Jackson submit the face covering exemption. This petition has amassed nearly 500 signatures and more than 100 comments in just 4 days. And I'm going to read to you just a few of those comments. Unmasked Wilson County, masks are reinforcing a feeling of helplessness. People are afraid to go out even to vote. Please consider the mask policy. Please reconsider the mask policy. Restore confidence in your leadership. And it is way past time to get rid of the ridiculous mask mandate. My kids shouldn't have to wear a mask all day long. Give me a break already. Lift the mandate. No more masks. No more masks. End it now. This mask law is ridiculous. The virus affects less than 1% of the population with pre-existing conditions and is no more dangerous than the common person. Another comment. I believe it is time to look at the data and see the alleged requirement for wearing face masks, especially for children and elderly over 50. The mask mandate should be left to the individual citizens and not to the county judge. This is unconstitutional, period. I have asthma and I hate the feeling of not being able to breathe. Where are the biometric pins for the mask that if it's that deadly? I feel violated. I'm supposed to be told to wear a mask. I refuse to wear a mask anywhere and I will not allow my children to be normal. Sorry, not sorry. No masks for this household. The masks do not work. End it. This goes on and on and on. Wearing a mask is a choice. If we choose not to, then not just our choice. So, for those of you that ran as Republicans on the Republican ticket, you should remember that as a state in the Republican Party platform, we believe in the Constitution as our founding document. We believe the Constitution was written not as a flexible document, but as our enduring covenant. We believe our constitutional system, limited government, separation of powers, federalism, and the rights of the people must be preserved uncompromised for future generations. So on behalf of citizens in Wilson County and voters, we once again ask that Judge Jackson submit the face covering exemption form. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Ms. Berlanga. Okay. That wasn't on the agenda, so there's no comment made, but there is one thing that I want to bring everybody's awareness to. We have 22 active cases in Wilson County, and the face covering mandate comes from the governor, not the county judge. Thank you.
Good job, Judge.
Okay, we have more comments, but one of them is Mr. Phillips is going to be on the agenda. Item 20 other two are when our tax hearing is, so we're going to come back to those. Certificates of completion and awards.
I don't have any at this time, Judge.
John, do you have back?
No, I gave it to her at her retirement party.
Okay. Okay. So we did have a retirement of 23 years. Is that what it was?
22. Yeah, almost
Rachel-
23.
Almost 23 years from the tax office, retired this last,
August 31st was her last day.
Okay, so we have none. Extension activity reports, the handouts. You still have one?
Yes, sir. Just, I think it's Nicole's. Yes, and I did hand them out, Judge.
Anybody have any comments or
Have you heard anything yet, Judge, on new agent?
They are not doing anything, and I guess they're still waiting on, the last time I asked, they're waiting on this, coronavirus and getting things lined out, so. Hopefully, one of these days, they'll make some kind of decision. Okay, agenda item number 6, we're gonna come back to at 10 a.m. It is Richard L. Jackson County Judge, Bennett, Trevino County Auditor, a 2020 tax rate hearing. Okay, so we'll come back to that. So we're going to agenda item number 7, Richard L. Jackson County Judge, discuss and take action on IT Professionals Day proclamation. Okay. And here is a proclamation, County of Wilson, Texas, designation of September 15th, 2020 as National IT Professionals Day. Whereas the power of technology is wielding a huge impact on the world today, and whereas the U.S. tech industry is a major driving force in the overall economy, accounting for 7.1% of overall GDP and 11.6% of U.S. private sector employment. Whereas information technology draws on highly educated and skilled U.S. workforce of nearly 2 million people in a number which has continued to grow during the past decade, and whereas cloud computing, mobility, big data, automation, and social technologies become common elements for business of all sizes. And as cybersecurity becomes a constant concern, the need for employees with technical experience is growing. And whereas booming technology, economic, and demographic shifts continue to rapidly change in our world, it is more important than ever for organizations, for small businesses, to government agencies to embrace effective information technology practices. Therefore, I, Richard L. Jackson, County Judge of Wilson County, Texas, do hereby proclaim September 15th as 2020 as National IT Professionals Day in Wilson County. And that should have been Commissioner's Court of Wilson County. We'll get that one changed. Make a motion by Commissioner File,
Also,
second by Commissioner Wiley, to proclaim September 15th IT Professionals Day. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
you still have to work, John, you can't take off that day. Does that mean John's gonna bake the cake?
I don't know.
Well, thank y'all. It's quite an honor, really unexpected, and I've got Leighton and Lisa here. They work with me in the Wilson County IT department. Just on behalf of all the IT professionals in Wilson County, thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you. And we will get that changed to Wilson County Commissioner's Court where all of us can sign it. Okay. Moving on to agenda item number 8, Richard L. Jackson County Judge, Joe D. Tackett County Sheriff. Discuss and take action on setting sheriff and constable fees for 2020. Is there any change?
No, sir.
Everything's going to stay the same? If we're not changing, do we have to?
Yes, we submit a no change.
Okay.
Yes, we'll go ahead and take care of that, Judge.
But we don't have to take any action since there's no change?
Right.
Okay, good deal. Then we're moving right along. Okay, agenda item number 9, Richard L. Jackson County Judge, discuss and take action allowing County Memorial Medical Center to use the Wilson County Expo and Community Center for an adult flu clinic for the public on September 23rd, 2020, at 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Fees will be waived. Okay, they're having a clinic out at Wampu, and it's of no cost. Any adult that shows up from 4 o'clock to 6:30 will get a free flu vaccination. And depending on the number of, if they have enough vaccine, which they do, the way they thought they would have more than enough to go through for the 2 hours of vaccinations. They're having and I don't have the date on here, but they're having a free clinic out at their clinic out north of town for children. But I do not have the date on that.
Are the fees that will be waived our fees?
Yes.
In which we won't charge them?
Yes, if they're not charging the public,
And we're not charging them.
let them use our facility.
I'll make a motion to allow, Sam, to see the, use the show bar for the clinic.
Motion by Commissioner Hayek, second by Commissioner Gomes. We allow common more modes than the use of Wilson County Expo and Community Center. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. Okay, agenda item number 10, Richard L. Jackson County Judge, discuss and take action on resolution authorizing grant Texas Department of Agriculture, Texas Feeding Texans, home delivered meals. Grant program, okay. And this is Department of Agriculture, Texas Feeding Texans, home delivered meals grant program resolution authorizing county grant program year 2021. A resolution of the County of Wilson, Texas, certifying that the county has made a grant to Comal County Senior Citizen Foundation, an organization that provides home delivered meals to homebound persons in the county who are elderly and or have a disability, and certifying that the county has approved the organization's accounting system for the fiscal year. Whereas the organization desires to apply for grant funding from the Texas Department of Agriculture to supplement and extend existing services for homebound persons in the county who are elderly and or have a disability pursuant to the Home Delivered Meals Grant Program. And whereas the program rules require the county in which the organization is providing home delivered meals to make a grant to the organization in order for the organization to be eligible to receive program grant funds. And whereas the program rules require the county to approve the organization's accounting system or fiscal agent in order for the organization to be eligible to receive program grant funds. And whereas the county recognizes Ken Lowry as an official of the organization applying for home delivered meal grant for the Texas Department of Agriculture. Be it resolved by the county, Section 1, the county hereby certifies it has made a grant to the organization in the amount of $2,059 to be used between the 1st of September 2020 and the 31st of August 2021. Section 2, the county hereby certifies that the organization provides home delivered meals to homebound persons in the county who are elderly and or have a disability. In Section 3, the county hereby certifies it has approved the organization's accounting system or fiscal agent which meets financial management system requirements as set forth in the Uniform Grant Management Standards promulgated by the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts. Introduced, read, and passed by the affirmative vote of the county on the 14th day of September 2020. Okay, we have this money budgeted already. We put it for every year. It used to go to Woodruff County Senior Citizens, but now they no longer do it, and Comal County Senior Citizens Foundation is taking over.
So we're making the grant to the Texas Department of Agriculture?
No, we're making it to Comal County Senior Citizens Foundation.
Yeah, basically, the Meals on Wheels, that they go out.
That's it. But they don't provide, they don't do the Meals on Wheels, they do the,
Out here.
yes.
I'll make a motion to do it.
Motion by Commissioner Fowle,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Hyatt. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? agenda item 11, Wichita Jackson County Judge Don Burnett, Wilson County Tax Assessor Collector, discuss and take action on the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department County Boat Agent agreement.
Good morning. This is just a renewal for my office to continue processing Texas Parks and Wildlife transactions, boat and vessel renewals, title transfers and so forth. It's nothing new. It's the same contract that we had before. I'm just asking y'all to renew it so we can continue to provide this service to the citizens of the county.
Make a motion, we do it, Judge.
Motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Hyde. We do the agreement. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Is there something I need to sign?
It is, yeah. I'll get it to you and Ms. Eva.
Okay. Okay, agenda item 12, Wichita Jackson County Judge John Holcomb, IT Director, discuss and potential action to enroll all current and future Wilson County personnel who have access to a government computer system or database into the TAC cybersecurity training course pursuant to the Texas Government Code 2054.519.
Thank you. We have a yearly requirement now that any county employees or any government employees with access to a government computer system or database take a annual cybersecurity training course. So I'm just asking for permission to go ahead and enroll all the county employees with access to a computer system or database into this training course. And also I'm asking for permission to continue doing this throughout the year, or even if it's possible beyond the year, as long as this requirement is in place.
Is this essentially the same thing we did earlier this year or late last year?
Yes,
Just a
sir.
repeat of it?
This is it.
We get to do it every year.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I move to go to your job, enroll all employees.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Fowle. Second by Commissioner Gomez. We get John to outshot everybody into getting their training for their course.
John, how soon will it open?
I'll try and we'll get together, get a list of employees together, and then I'll get with Jalen probably later today, and we'll work on getting a list together and submit it to them of all the employees.
Is it calendar year or fiscal year? When does it begin? When does it end?
You know, I don't. To be honest with you, I don't remember the start and end dates. I just know the window is open now. I don't have that with me. I apologize.
So even the ones of us that took it last year, we're ready to do it again?
Yes,
Like
sir.
we just took it in June, we do it again?
Yeah, because I think the deadline was July,
Right,
wasn't it?
right, and I think that's when the year starts again. I don't think it aligns with the calendar year or the fiscal year. I think it's got its own start and end.
Update?
I'm thinking that it's August to July.
Okay. I'm gonna keep taking it until I get it right.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Everybody get the first class. You want to use the computer. Okay, agenda item 13, discuss and take action on letting voter registration registrar. This should be county judge. Linda Lambert used the courthouse lawn and parking lot September 19th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for voter registration. That's just, she wants to set up down here and people come through, give them a form to register to vote.
Make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gomez.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Wiley. That we allow that to happen. Is there any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So that passes. Okay. Agenda item 14, Wichita L. Jackson County Judge, Brenda L. Trevino County Auditor. Discuss and take action on awarding funds for the Wilson County CARES Grant Program. Ta-da!
Yeah.
This is it.
This is it. So on August 31st, or back in August, you guys had it approved for us to establish a county grant program to assist some businesses that may be eligible based on criteria. We formed that committee and have been working diligently since then. The applications opened August 31st, and, August 31st, July 31st, and we're due August the 14th, I believe it was, yes. And then what we did is we created, Michelle and I, from our grant manager, created a scoring rubric, and there were all these different criteria, and based on your scores, those are the awards. We had a total of 43 applicants. Out of the 43, 28 were eligible in the different ranges, and that's what we presented before you. So we are asking the court's approval to proceed with paying out those awards.
Okay, so this is the 25% of the CARES Act money that we
It is.
got. This is just take care of the whole 25%?
I don't know if it's correct.
How did you say that, of what funds did you
Or
say?
the CRF CARES grant, CARES money.
Okay.
Yes, unless we spend more money, for the other, categories in that CRF funds, this will complete out of the budget. That's eligible for economic.
And the total payout equated to $101,000.
And it's not a loan, it's a grant.
It's a grant, that is correct.
Commissioner Gamez and I sat on, sat with, I don't know exactly how the term would be,
As advisory on the committee.
on the committee, and from my perspective, did a really good job of making certain that this thing was done professionally and without favor. So I just want to commend you on that.
Thank you.
The parameters I thought were good.
Thank you.
You did a well job.
Yeah, we had businesses from every corner of the county, which we were pleased to see, which included Livonia, Pogue, Stockville, Floresville, so.
So I make a motion, we approve it.
I'll make a second.
Motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Gomez, that we approve the list of grant recipients.
We have a nice little board.
Okay. Okay, is there any more discussion?
I just-
All in favor? Oh,
Judge, what was the kind of the criteria that some of these, I saw, some getting more money than others. If you don't mind, just,
Yep, so the scoring rubric included 7 different areas, which included the completion of the application, everything that was required to be submitted, their evidence of legitimately having a business in the state, evidence of not exceeding gross revenue of $1 million, evidence of loss, evidence of need, they had to write a narrative, and evidence of any other donation, any other assistance received, not that disqualified them at all. It was just basically how honest were people being. And so each one of those criteria were weighted. And so depending on, and one of the things that Michelle and I did is we scored individually first, and we were very close when we came together to review our results at how very close that we were collectively. And so everybody ranged within 1 to 2 points from our individual scores. So we knew we were on the right track.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So we have approved our list of grant recipients. Y'all want to take a picture?
Yeah, why don't y'all stand over there?
Michelle, get over here. Come down. Y'all wanna-
Here, I'll give you mine.
You got
You got your
nice
phone?
Sure, I can take one and send it to you.
Good. Camera?
John has it.
You actually look better.
All right. Smile. Everybody keep smiling. One, two, three. Thank you. Thank you. And thank y'all for the work y'all did on this.
Yes, we were super excited, and we did contact the businesses to let them know of the Commissioners Court pending approval today, and everyone was very, very grateful. The response that we received was really nice, so thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving right along to agenda item number 15, which goes Jackson County Judge Michelle Moore. Grants Manager 15A, discuss and take action to approve the county transportation infrastructure fund, CTIF, grant agreement and update project priority listing within Wilson County and the Texas Department of Transportation.
Good morning, Commissioners and Judge. So we talked about this grant before. We have approved the resolution. We approved it, I believe, back in July or probably early August. So now it's actually time to approve the agreement and the project list. Each one of you got the project list and an analysis. I sent this out also on Friday to kind of let you all know how the funds were going to break out. And I talked to a couple of commissioners on what priority roadways they saw wanted to get funded. So we removed some roads. We removed 3 roads per the commissioners in those precincts. And as you see at the bottom, it all equals out to the award that we received from the state, which was $430,205. So we're using the total award from the state, and we're going to match that with county funds of $107,551. And that totals to $537,756. And this, these roadways can be completed within 5 years, so it's not something that could impact greatly next year's budget or the following year's budget. So we can kind of spread it out over the course of 5 years. Sharon, you said 537,756.
I have a question. I don't have a problem with any of this. My question has to do with the funding. If you take,
Right, but
of course, we'll look at precinct 2. It looks like he has 263,000 for these 2 projects. I'm looking at this right. So right, 161, 102. And I've got 200 and something another. Do we know with this project, once we complete a project, and we have the paperwork and we turn it into you, what their timetable for reimbursement is going to be?
I do not know that. I'm assuming, what I would like to do, and what I know I've heard from Leanne, is the faster you turn in the more, I should say faster, the more regular you turn in your paperwork, so like on a monthly basis, which is what I would like to do,
Okay.
they're going to be prepared to handle that and give us back our money.
My question has to do with this. If you take my budget, take Commissioner Fowle's budget, and I'm sure Commissioner Danner's as well, and you pull that much out of the budget in the course of a year to do that, then that may impede your ability to do other things within the county. Can we set this up so that this is handled, we turn it in, handled through the general fund or something, and the general fund is reimbursed?
In the course of the budget, I had included county matching grant funds as a line item for purposes like this. So it would not affect your current budget in your prospective road and bridge department.
Excellent.
Okay, the matching funds are not gonna be in-kind contributions?
I don't
Some
know.
of them will be.
I'm sure some of them
I mean,
is.
we're gonna use, so the county forces, that we've identified on there will be equipment, the rates for equipment, the rate for the workers who, so, yes.
It should cover it, quite frankly, when you take, because they're allowing us to, you have to calculate everything, but, you know, motor graders a certain rate per hour, water trucks a different rate, dump trucks, pickup. So when you take that and labor, because that, quite frankly, it should cover all of that, in my opinion. But at least in the past, the past situations we've had, it has covered.
But I think what you're talking about more, Commissioner Wally, is that like the 430 that the tech side is gonna give us, they won't give us that money until we turn in our.
Oh, no, that's right.
It's a
The
reimbursement.
question had to do with
The actual budget,
the part that,
Yes.
100.
And what he's saying, taking it out, instead of taking it out of our budget,
yeah,
because that's a big chunk of change.
yeah. But obviously, when you're talking about, I don't see the numbers here from me off the top. But if you're, the folks that are gonna do it, we're already paying them. And we already own the equipment. So as far as having to come up with money to offset that, or you could hire a contractor, I guess, but as opposed to, you know, coming up with money, that money should be covered by the work that we do. It has in the past.
Judge, I don't think there was a stipulation on a certain percentage of,
In-kind contribution?
right, I'll go back and check, but I'm pretty certain that nothing was required to have actual attachment.
And it hasn't happened yet, but say we submit something to them, costs. Okay, are they gonna say, okay, 20% of that or whatever it is gonna be y'all's and we'll pay you for the other, we'll reimburse you for the other part?
But you're gonna have to prove, and that's gonna be key from the standpoint of the form that we use.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to prove, you're gonna have to track how many hours, you know, John Doe worked X number of hours on the maintainer, and then that maintainer better be used the same amount of hours. If the other person drove a dump truck, the dump trucks have to account for that, so it all has to tie back together, but it's not that complicated.
And I'm sure they have forms on what will be accounted for who is being responsible for that.
More or less, my question is, if we submit them
$100,000.
$100,000, they just gonna give us $80,000?
I'll confirm with that, but that's, usually agencies have the forms already split out, so they show you what they will reimburse and what our cost was. So, I know TCEQ has a form in here as well, so I'm confident that that's that.
Okay,
So I'll definitely, be happy to do that.
okay.
Now, if we don't use this dollar amount, say it don't cost that much, we have estimated on a particular road, and then we can use it on another road?
Technically, yes, and that's why,
I mean, that's what we did in the past.
right, so yes.
But it would need to be another road that we submit,
Yes.
Right.
not just a random
Yes.
road.
But as you can see on this road, and I'm gonna contact TxDOT to learn if they are gonna be rigid on the actual description or the project description. Because a lot of the roads that y'all have removed, that would simply apply those funds to the other roads that aren't getting completed. So my conversations with TxDOT they've already said that they're gonna be flexible and work with us. So I don't think we will have too much of a problem with that.
Now, at least on the last project, the only key, obviously you have to keep up with the invoices, and you'll have to turn the invoices in for all of the materials that you use. The other part is keeping really good records as to who did what, where. You don't really, the when's not so much. It's gonna be, you have a 8-hour day or a 10-hour day, depending on which precinct you're in. and it's accounting for the use of your people and equipment in the course of that 10-hour day. And it covers everything from trailers to getting equipment out there, it's the whole bit.
And if they don't have a form, then I will work with them as well as you all commissioners to develop a good appropriate form to council. To make it an easy reimbursement process.
Well, I'll make a motion, go ahead and approve.
Motion by Commissioner Gomez, second by Commissioner Hayek, that we approve the TIF. Agreement. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Now we're on to 15B, discuss and take action to approve the Alma Area Council of Governments with the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality Grant payment for the expansion of Wilson County Citizens Collection Facility.
Judge and Commissioners, this grant, as you all have been made aware of and have been updated several times, we started in December, this is the actual approval of the agreement. By the way, the county attorney's office has looked at it. Their only concern was following the scope of work that was prepared for the grant. Probably Commissioner Kyle about it, using a contractor, using a trustee for the engineering services that we'll need should suffice. Other than that, we were awarded the grant. $56,915 will come from TCQ/ACOG. ACOG is the administrator of this grant on their side, and then we will match that with another $56,915. Half of that $56,915 has to be a cash match. I think it's $28,457 cash, which has already been budgeted for the new year, and $28,457 as in-kind services. Those in-kind services can include, obviously, the work done by the county, and then if there's some left over, we can include management of it as well. Part of my
Cheryl, I'm sorry, could you turn around and repeat the number?
The number is $56,915 of grant money from TCQ, administered by ACOG, with a match of $56,915 from the county.
Okay,
Half of that $56,915 from the county has to be cash, and half of it has to be cash.
okay, thank you so much.
So we just simply track equipment and so forth like we did, we probably use the same textile numbers on the whole.
Yeah.
What we will need is the labor broke down to where it's a burden of everything. Insurance, so if someone gets $12 an hour, by the time you load in insurance and other benefits, then that 12 might be 16 or 18. So we need those numbers for everybody that
Right.
participates in both of these grants.
Right, exactly. And I've had some of that work up, I think you requested in the treasurer's office when we were initially preparing the grant, and so we'll just leave those updated in the new year.
I make a motion to approve this.
Motion by Commissioner Fowle,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Wiley. We approve the ACOG CEQ grant for the collection facility. Is there any more discussion?
No, just a statement, Judge, is that, to me, this is a really big deal. That this is gonna take the collection facility to a new level. We should be able, I would think, to have all of our events that we have out there. It's going to familiarize a number of citizens with the collection facility, which will make a really big difference, I think, for our roads and so forth in the long term. I'm excited.
And the credit we have to give is to Michelle, because she was working on this before she was our grants manager. So, okay, motion and a second, any more discussion, questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So, thank you. Okay, now 15C, discuss and take action to approve a resolution of support to renew the statewide automated victims notification service, SAVIN grant. administered by the Texas Office of the Attorney General through the state vendor apprentice.
All right, one last one. This is a contract that we've had, I believe, a couple of years, or just a year.
It's been longer than that.
Is it
A long
longer than that?
time.
I'm sorry?
It's been here a long
It
time.
has been, okay. So it just got transitioned to my department. They're requiring a resolution and to review the contract. I did have the county attorney's office look at it. There's only one concern, the dates that they're putting into the actual resolution, and I verified it on the actual contract grant agreement. The dates are exactly what they say in the resolution. I'll contact Albert, but it's always needed to confirm that. But let me read the resolution. First contract renewal, participating in key services agreement for the statewide automated victim notification service. Contract number 2020-2144-900-527-01. Whereas the Office of the Attorney General is the Texas State Agency tasked with certifying a statewide vendor to provide a statewide automated victim notification service to a variety of political subdivisions of the state of Texas, including county sheriffs, clerks, and attorneys, district attorneys, and courts participating in these. Whereas OAG certified and contracted with APRIS, Inc., the vendor, as a statewide vendor to provide service to each of the participating entities. Whereas Wilson County, Texas, as a participating entity and vendor executed a participating services agreement identified as contract number 2019-2044-900-527-01, under which the vendor would provide service to Wilson County main entity. Whereas section 1 of the contract permitted the named entity to, in its sole and absolute direct discretion, renew the contract with 4 additional one-year renewal terms. Each renewal term to the extent the OAG certification agreement remains in effect. Whereas the OAG exercises its option to renew the OAG certification agreement extending the term thereof to August 31st, 2022. Now therefore, the first contract renewal is exercised by Wilson County as follows. The contract is set to terminate on August 31st, 2020. The contract is hereby renewed with this first contract renewal term to begin on September 1, 2020 and end of August 31st, 2021. Pursuant to section 1 of the contract, this first renewal term and any subsequent renewal shall be subject to all specifications and terms and conditions of the contract. The OAG certification agreement and the incorporated documents as defined in section 2 thereof.
Okay. Entertain a
I'll
motion.
make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gomez, second by Commissioner Hyde, that we approve the Salins agreement. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to agenda item 16. Okay, Richard L. Jackson County Judge Tom Caldwell, attorney, approve and adopt Wilson County Emergency Service District Number 5, Resolution 2020-004 and Resolution 2020-005. Captain, you know anything about that? Nothing? So, I guess we'll take no action on that. If needs to, we can put it back on the agenda for next time.
Does he have to be here, or
What's that?
is Colwell here, or?
I don't know.
So I think that's just their resolution to adopt the tax rate. I don't know that y'all need to.
And that's what I was wondering. Wanted to put it on the agenda, so I did.
No, we don't have.
Yes, he wanted it on the agenda.
What's that?
He wanted it on the agenda.
Yeah, we wanted it on the agenda.
Maybe
Well,
since it's their
on it.
first time to adopt.
Do y'all have a document other than it being in here? Let me look at
We have no
this.
authority over their tax.
Here it is.
I think he's in his office.
It's right here, Dutch. It's got all the information on there. He sent that in an email.
I do, they're down
That's,
there.
we've already read the agenda item, and this is something that, to present to Commissioner's Court for ESD.
I'm sorry, I'm totally in the dark.
Oh, okay.
For them to adopt.
The resolutions.
Okay, gentlemen, to be clear on this, this is not something you actually vote on, but by law, ESDs, I can't speak for the ones I don't represent, but I do know the ones I do. By law, they have to give Commissioners Court and the counties that they're in, they have to give them a copy of the adopted budget. That's all that was. I gave it to Ms. Martinez, and that's it. Only because she is the, the kind of the custodian of records for Commissioners Court. But it's just me serving them to y'all. Both ESDs have adopted a budget and a tax rate. They
We have
come
no
on
authority.
board.
We have no authority over there.
No, you don't, but they have, emergency service districts have a requirement to keep the county in the loop about certain things. I think about 3 things a year, and one of which is they have to provide y'all with their proposed, their adopted tax rates, their adopted budgets, and they also have a report duty all in the spring. That's all that was, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So this
So
is just.
do we have to take action to receive it?
No, the law says that you are to be served with a copy.
Okay,
So we don't
It
approve.
says, no, sir, the law, I believe the law, I'm paraphrasing, is the ESD shall serve the Commissioner's Court with a copy.
okay.
That's exactly what I did.
Okay.
Ms. Martinez.
We can serve.
Yes. I'm not suing.
And I guarantee you, in 3 years, somebody's gonna ask, did we ever serve them? And we're gonna be able to find it in a minute.
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
Is this your document,
This
sir?
is mine.
Okay.
It's mine.
Judge, I'll state, the 8 years I've been involved with our ESD, the only reporting we've done is 2 items. We send our finalized audit to the county auditor, and we provide the tax rate information to the tax assessor collector. And that's the 2 things that we've been doing since our
Okay.
creation.
Okay, well, we've got that. That's it, yes, sir. Okay, we're moving right along. Agenda item 17. City Jackson County Judge discuss and take action on approving interlocal agreement with ESD 4 and 5 to collect ad valorem taxes and Sean.
Here are the original interlocals. It's the same agreement that I have with all of the other taxing entities, where I will collect and disperse the tax money. It also states that I will calculate tax rates for them, but it's no different than any of the other ones that we already have in place.
Okay.
I make a motion to do
to approve both of them? Okay. 4 and 5, motion by Commissioner Fowle. Second by Commissioner Young, to approve both interlocal agreements. Is there any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay. We'll skip agenda item number 18, because that has to be done after agenda item number 6, and we haven't done agenda item number 6 yet, so that is our tax rate hearing. So we're going to agenda item number 19, Wichita Jackson County Judge, Aldo Marrero, Elections Administrator, voter registrar, request to amend polling locations for block 102 from Floresville ISD School Annex to Sacred Heart Baptist Church.
Yes, good morning, Judge, Commissioners. I'm requesting your approval to be able to change it to the Catholic Parish Hall, Sacred Heart Catholic Parish Hall, due to the fact that I will be having 3 elections in the Floresville Annex. The ISD is not big enough. So I'm just,
Okay, and everything else is the same.
everything is the same, it's just that polling location, box 102.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gomez, second by Commissioner Fowle, that we accept the amended polling locations.
Okay, thank
Is there any
you.
more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Let's wait 4 more minutes, and we're gonna go back to agenda item number 6.
No, I've never seen this
Okay, everybody that's here, there's gonna be a list circulated or a signature list. Please sign it. It shows that you were here for the tax rate hearing. And it's being brought up as we speak. Okay, it's 10 o'clock. Agenda item number 6, Isabel Jackson County Judge, Benedict County Auditor. 2020 tax rate hearing is now open. I have 2 public comments that I have that want to be over the phone, so I'm going to call them first.
Who's the first one, Judge?
Brenna Preston. From 170 Mariposa.
Hello?
Hello, Ms. Preston. This is Judge Jackson, Wilson County Commissioner's Court. Okay, did you want a public comment on the tax hearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have the floor now.
Oh, thank you. My only public comment for this is due to with the appraisal going up and the proposed tax increase, I was wondering what amount of money is the county looking for, and what are we trying to achieve with the increase of the budget?
Okay, this is for public comments. We can't answer, I guess we can answer questions. Yeah, this is it. Okay, what are we looking to, we're funding the county, is what we're funding. The tax rate is the same as it was last year.
Yes, sir.
The extra revenue comes from what is the new, I guess some of it was appraisals were different and some of it was the growth. We're trying to keep up with the growth while leaving the tax rate the same. We're one of the lucky counties that can do that. But our growth is actually right at or more than what we're allowed to, as far as our effective rate, or what used to be the effective rate, the voter approval rate, now no new tax rate, no new revenue rate. But if your land was valued the same as it was last year, your taxes shouldn't change. Because as far as county taxes, I'm not talking about anything else. This is just county. Not school, not city, of course, you don't live in the city.
So the purpose of this hearing is to increase the tax rate?
No, the tax rate is staying the same. Okay, we had extra revenue because of reason because of appraisals, and some reason because of additional new property, new revenue.
Okay. So I guess I'm confused on what the actual tax hearing is for then.
This is because the state tells us we have to do it.
So what does it do? Like, what's the purpose of it, I guess?
The purpose of it is to set the tax rate. They have it lined out, we have to have the budget, approve the budget, and then set the tax rate to fund the budget.
So the tax rate is staying the same?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So because I was looking at that thing and it said like there's 3 people for and 2 people against. If it's staying the same, why are we against it?
That's the budget. That was the budget.
Judge, 3 minutes.
Oh,
Judge,
Ms. Presnell, I'm sorry, the 3 minutes is up. I just got reminded.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Excuse
That's
me.
all right.
Okay, and this one is Jeffrey Machka from Legacy Run in the Bernie area. Mr. Machka? Jeffrey?
Micah? Yes.
Micah? Okay, this is Judge Jackson, Wilson County Commissioner's Court, and you are on the list for a public comment?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, the floor is yours.
Yes, I'd actually like to find out, a couple things. First off, where does this money intend to go? Second off, I just want to find out, because we've been receiving, my taxes last year went up significantly. I'm just wondering why they're not looking at like ag exemptions, if they need other funds. And also why they're not actually looking at the audits, because audit property taxes, because they had my pool on my neighbor's house, and those are all kind of points of revenue. They need additional funds. So I just want to make a statement that I think there's plenty of other places to get additional funds that I really believe do not need to actually raise the taxes in the area. We're going to pretty much push people out of this area. And the area is growing probably close to 20% a year. So I just want to find out and make a comment, or is that there's no need to raise taxes.
Okay, how did you pronounce your last name again?
Micah?
Micah? Okay, Mr. Micah, okay, our tax rate is the same as last year's, okay, and what, we have a budget, our budget takes up our, whatever money, revenue we get from our tax rate is on the budget. We do not tax any more than what our budget is. We do not have any slush funds, we don't have anything like that. If it's on the budget, that's what our budget rate, our tax rate is set for to fund the budget. We do not have any, we're not like the federal government or anything else where you have taxes coming in all the time and you can put it in different funds like that. We have one source, and that is ad valorem taxes.
Okay, let me ask this then. Where does that, if I may, where does that, as far as the tax then, what would this increase do essentially?
It's all in our budget. We have it all laid out. We do not have anything that's not budgeted for. Every penny that we're collecting in taxes is already budgeted. If you would like a copy of it's on our website.
Okay, I think there's other places that they can do a better job in getting revenue that keep raising the taxes on people. Because it's going to cause all of this to pretty much price out of our houses and houses.
Okay, well, I
Yes,
just
but
repeat.
that's the appraisal district that you.
That's the
have to
appraisal
talk.
district that appraises your, that's not the county, that's not the county government. It says Wilson County Appraisal District, but it's Wilson County. Okay, we're having. Okay, but who appraises your house is not Wilson County, it's Wilson County Appraisal District. It just happens to have county in the name. And our tax rate is exactly the same as it was last year.
Then,
It has not moved.
well, my taxes went up, so
Okay,
they're freezing my house higher, so obviously they're getting more tax. So, obviously that's concerning for people as our houses just keep rising, and I did appeal it, however, haven't received anything back.
okay. Like I said, that is the issue you take up with appraisal district.
Right, but I mean.
We set our tax rate,
That's all going to the county, is it not?
No, the appraisal district appraises for like 18 different taxing entities. School districts, ESDs, the San Antonio River Authority, underground water conservation districts, many different, all the cities, hospital. He said there's 18 different taxing entities. And the appraisal district appraises for all of them.
Okay. Understand,
The-
there's no place to get revenue.
Okay, we have one, and that is ad valorem taxes. The county has no other tax. We have no sales tax, we have nothing. We have one source of revenue. Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Have comment on tax rate? That's what this is for.
Thank you.
That was very good, Judge. Okay. Elaine?
When you have a growth rate, I don't know that our growth rate is 20%, but
Oh, no.
it's, you know, it was 16 point something over the last decade. Required additional things. Sheriff's Department's the first one that comes to mind.
It's gonna be more difficult in years coming because you're gonna be limited to how much revenue you can go up. And the county is growing as fast or faster than what we're allowed to increase our revenue. So don't ask for more things, just hopefully we can stay flat. If you do something greater than that, then it's gonna go straight to a vote. There's no petition that has to be done. If it goes, revenue goes over 3.5%, it's an automatic rollback election. Okay. Anybody else have anything for agenda item number 6, which is the tax rate here?
Do you want me to list the numbers?
What's that?
Do you want me to announce the numbers
Yeah.
for the hearing? So, just for reference and reiterating what you said, our current tax rate is 0.4851 cents for every $100. We are proposing the same tax rate of 0.4851 cents for every $100. Our tax assessor did a great job at calculating that on our new worksheets that we had to get this year. But I do want to just make everyone aware, there is no change this year. And there was an actual 5.7% increase on the average homestead taxable value from the appraisal district, which we have no control over. And so our our proposed tax rate is made up of our no new revenue rate, which is 0.4637 cents, and our debt rate, which is 0.0164, which equals the 0.4851. So we are looking for your motion to accept the property tax rate reading
Is that gonna be on our website?
once, if it gets approved, yeah.
Anything else for agenda item number 6? Okay, tax rate hearing is now closed, and we're going to agenda item number 18, Richard L. Jackson County Judge, minutes review of county auditor. Vote to set 2020 tax rate, A, M&O 2020 tax rate, 0.4687, and D, INS 2020 tax rate, 0.0164.
I make a motion that we, order the tax rate to be set at the number that you just described.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second?
Yes.
Motion by Commissioner Hyatt, second by Commissioner Wiley. Is there any discussion? Okay, call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we have 2 opposed, Commissioner Gomez, Commissioner Fowler. You got to set the tax rate. Well, that was good.
Yeah, once the motion was
Yeah, one
ordered.
motion, one order.
Yes, we Okay, agenda item, we're going to agenda item number 20. Okay, Ernest, skip height, Commissioner Precinct 3, discuss and take action on deciding to fund or not to fund the following entities. Okay, I'm gonna read the whole thing. Okay, fire departments, A, Floresville Volunteer, 28,000. Okay, transfer these funds to ESD 5. B, City of Stockdale, 27,000. C, ESD 1, 51,000. D, ESD 2, 30,000. E, ESD 5, received 28,000 transfers from the Floresville Volunteer Fire Department. Okay. F, Polk Volunteer Fire Department, 20,000. G, Three Oaks Volunteer Fire Department, 6,000. H, Fireman's Training Expense, 8,000. I, Auto Insurance, 1,000. J, Insurance Special Risk, 10,598. ESD Departments, A, Volunteer, Wilson County Volunteer Ambulance, 31,500 transferred from ESD 4. B, ESD 2, 26,000. C, ESD 3, 53,000. D, ESD 4 received 31,000 transferred from Wilson County Volunteer Ambulance Service. Okay, E, Insurance Special Risk, $12,211. And then F, EMS Training Expense, $1,000. Okay.
Okay, yeah, it's my understanding all of these funds are available in the budget, is that correct?
That is correct. In the new fiscal year budget is what you're asking.
Yeah, and Louisville Volunteer Fire Department, I guess, is transitioned into ESD 5, is that correct? And we have the funds earmarked for the Louisville Volunteer Fire Department, which, that's why it's put in there, we need to transfer that to the ESD 5, because the Louisville Volunteer Fire Department won't be providing the fire services anymore.
That is correct.
So instead of them, an entity not providing the fire service, then those funds should go to ESD 5's budget. I have a question that says the City of Stockdale, is that Stockdale Fire Department or just the city? I guess the funding.
The city owns the fire department, it's the city.
It's the city-owned department? Okay. And we had some discussion earlier that ESDs, some of the ESDs shouldn't be funded because they're a taxing entity as is the city of Stockdale. So I'm wondering why they would be any different than ESDs that been collecting taxes and not funding or being funded.
They don't just cover the city of Stockdale, they cover the whole eastern part of the county. And the southeastern part of the county.
Okay, do they have an agreement to do that with us, or
Yes.
how does that work?
Yes, they are. Just like the Polk property, similar.
Okay, I've got two public comments that want to be heard during this. Surely keep going, or you want to?
Go ahead.
Okay, first public comment is Larry Phillips, ESD 2.
Well, first of all, I want to express my appreciation and also my surprise that this is on the agenda, since we've been led to believe that it wasn't going to be in the budget this year, but we appreciate at least that y'all are considering it. As you know, we're the only ESD in the county that furnishes fire and EMS, so I can't speak for the rest of the entities over here, but we've certainly seen increase in cost for personal protective equipment. We've seen medical supply cost increases because of the COVID. I'm sure everybody's been impacted by that. And we, money's tight because we're providing both services. We run at minimal staffing, but to ensure that we can do the services that we need. So if you find it in your heart to budget this and put it out, we would certainly appreciate it. Thank you.
Y'all get a sales tax too, right?
Yes, we do get a sales tax, and that's the only thing that keeps us in business. Yes, we
The
do.
reason I put it on the agenda for today was I was hoping the different departments would come here, as I mentioned during the last board, to have a discussion with us, so we can determine where each one of these entities is at financially, and what their projected revenues and incomes are gonna be for the coming fiscal year, to determine if, in fact, you need this extra stipend from the county or not. That's why I'm doing this. I mean, we have a duty to make sure our citizens are cared for. But at the same time, you know, if you're a taxable entity, we don't want to double dip our citizens. So if y'all can do for your tax money, cover your expenses and operate without this assistance, we could use these funds somewhere else. That's what I'm trying to find out, so.
Well, we can operate, but we can't operate as efficient. Would certainly be helpful if we could use it in a number of areas.
David,
we got another, hang on a second, we got another public comment? No? Okay, and this one is Adam Marconi, ESD two.
Good morning, Commissioners, Judge. Thank you, Commissioner Hayek, for putting this on the agenda. We do really appreciate it to be able to have some conversation about it. As y'all actually talked about earlier in your tax rate hearing, there is growth in the county, which means that expenses increase and the level of service has to increase to meet that for the citizens. So yes, the ESDs, we do receive tax money in. However, we still are providing a service to citizens of the county just as any other provider in the county. And so the stipend from the county has actually been a part of our budget for many years. And we use that in the budgeting process. So to hear that this year that it was more than likely not going to be there, it was a big shock. And it forced us to take looks in different places on where we could, how far we could stretch a penny. As my ESD board president mentioned, we're already running at minimum staffing. We went down probably about a year ago in order to meet the demands that were there for the additional expenses on our end. We just didn't have the money to have that extra personnel that we had in years to pass. We are running dual certified personnel, so that way they can tend to a fire or an EMS call. However, but we do, as again you mentioned in the tax rate hearing, the county's growing, the needs are growing, and we really need to be looking at how long term we can be adding back personnel, and not how long can we make it running at the minimum level. And then we do also have, of course, as other agencies in the room have, we still do have a very active volunteer program in which the county stipend helps fund gear for the volunteer firemen and fund training for the volunteer firemen. One thing that's different is our career firemen come to the door with all their certifications, they're ready to go. Our volunteer firemen come to the door and they're needing the training to be provided. That's up to us to make sure that we get them trained and sent off for what they need, and that stipend is part of what helps us do that. So thank y'all for your consideration.
Okay. David Weiss, ESD three.
I mean, I echo what they say. I mean, yes, we are experiencing COVID. Yes, we are experiencing overages as far as medical expenses, things like that. I will go further and say, we did not budget for this money for this upcoming fiscal year. I mean, yes, $53,000 is a nice chunk of change. However, it is not in our budget for this upcoming year. However, what I will add to this is let's keep in mind that we are on the ballot for November for the annexation of the Cuyahoga area. Should that not pass, we will have to revisit as far as a contract. Of course, that contract having a start date, an end date, some sort of monetary value for the district to cover outside of its district lines to provide service for that area. The only thing I will add also to this is should you move forward to not fund the ESDs, which is okay. But what I will add is that that money be earmarked to go towards infrastructure in the county, such as communications, towers, repeaters, things like that, because the communication infrastructure in this county is very antiquated. All right, it's 20+ years old, it needs to be replaced, it needs to be updated. And, you know, price tags that we're hearing to bring this communication up to where it needs to be, the price tag that we've heard is around $3 million. And so we need to start working towards that. So if this money isn't going to be used to fund ESDs, then I say, you know, in my opinion, that you guys really need to consider ear tagging that money to go towards that project.
Good idea. Yes, sir.
I'm Bill Gleason with ESD 4, sorry. I echo what they say. I worked here as a volunteer for probably 15, 17 years. Our problem going into the new year is we're brand new. We don't know what our expenses are going to be. We do know that we've seen a tremendous increase in the number of runs, the volume. Our area is very large. We cover from county line to county line. And we need to have we did not budget this in our budget. But we do have to have a cushion to know that we have enough to cover the needs that we have. And we don't know that now because we don't know what our expenses are. Transferring from the volunteers to the paid system or ESD means we have to re-license, we have to do all of that kind of stuff, and that costs money too. So I just want to keep that in mind. We appreciate what you do.
I agree with Mr. Gleason on that, that we are new to all this, so we don't know what the express would be like. So we do look forward to at least have something to fall back on to start off with. And I think as many years as you have funded the other ESD, I feel that we should be doing the same kind of courtesy as well.
As Commissioner Wiley did the last time we discussed this, you know, they have budget report this year because they were uncertain if we were going to fund it again. I would think that we could put them on notice that more than likely they wouldn't be funded next year, but provide the funding to everyone this year so they can prepare properly for the budget for next year.
I think we're going to face a time where we will start to wean ourselves from funding ESDs. You have situations of mutual aid. There's a difference between an established ESD and a fledgling ESD because all of you know that the first 2 or 3 years the money is starting to come in, but the needs outweigh the funds. Ultimately, I see a time when we provide very little, you know, maybe some infrastructure, as Mr. Rice said, and hopefully at a point we will have ESDs that cover the county. But that really needs to happen for the citizens of the county. And then that would be a different thing. You know, whether we cut anybody this year or not, I guess is a different story. Some ESPs are funded rather well. ESD 2 always has the problem because it's supposed to be fire or EMS, they're both. And they're limited on funding for a double job. They have some tax revenue that they can bring in through sales tax. But the point's going to come with when we're in a situation that we discussed where we can only have 3.5% new tax money, and we have a population growing at a significant clip, the needs for the sheriff's department are going to continue. You're going to need more deputies. I don't know exactly what it costs to fill the new deputy, but you've got a vehicle, you've got computers, it's a lot of money.
Well, I agree with Commissioner Wiley, and I want to say something. If we're gonna do this, still keep the funds available for this year. So that way, at least it gives you all a 1 year heads up that coming next year, if we're gonna cut, this is what I think, that the ones that are gonna be cut is gonna be ESD number 1, ESD number 2, and ESD number 3. Those are the ones that are already been funded for, how many years? I think 8, 10 years. And I think they're already to the point of where they can sustain their budget. And the other ones that have the ESD will give them also an 8-year advantage so they can get also where they're gonna be. So that way, at least we know that they can get their feet back up together. I mean, because I know I've been a volunteer for 40 years for the fire department, and it's hard to get people out there. And now that y'all starting to pay staff, I know that it gets expensive and everything, all the runs, but as a group, as the ESD, y'all have done a great job. But y'all all come together, because one department won't do it. I know it, and I've seen it. So that's why I'll go ahead and make a motion to accept the proposal for this year. Coming next year, we'll give them a year so they can look at it, that the funds are probably not gonna be there for next year.
So you want to keep everything the same?
Everything the same.
Okay, I know Brenda and I talked about this, and we were questioned as to why this was in the budget. This meeting this morning is the reason it was still in the budget. To be sure that if funding was needed and assistance was needed for the EMSs and the fire departments, that it was gonna be here. And since we had this once before, a couple of years ago, that there was an idea of not funding the ESDs, and it changed, so that's the reason it is today.
And that's the reason we're doing it, because that way we won't give you a surprise
Right.
in 2 or 3 months that, you know what, that we're gonna start cutting your fund. They need you ahead of time so you can reschedule your deal that your $30,000 or $40,000, you're gonna have to start cutting back a little bit. I mean, it's the same for us too, the county. People are always complaining about taxes they're not going up, but there's not enough funds to maintain roads and this and that, which is true. And every time we get a call, they say, well, what are y'all doing with all the money? It's because when they see the tax statements, they see the whole picture and they think that we get the whole money. And we don't get the whole money out of the county. If you start spreading it out, the county don't get much out of it, of that pie. Mostly the ones that get that out is the school.
Now, I think ESD 1 and 2 and 3, I think already knew we were gonna take it up. Because it was in the paper where ESD 2 had said the county was cutting their budget. So they already know it. I mean, I'm in favor of cutting
That's
it.
true, but I also think that we have a responsibility, because when you're planning a budget, there takes a lot of time to plan a budget. And I think that we have a responsibility to our ESDs to at least provide them proper written notification well in advance so that they know how to budget moving forward. Yes, we budgeted the money in our budget because we had it to do that. But I know in conversations with Edwin Baker, he called me a few times asking what we were doing so that the ESDs could budget appropriately. While it was in the paper and there were a lot of discussion, there was never anything written to say this is what we're going to do moving forward. So I just know from preparing budgets, it is time consuming and it is helpful to know in advance.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Daniels, I understand your feelings about it, you know, funding the police department and stuff like that, and giving them a head start in 8 years, but basically, I think 4 and 5 started at the maximum rate of 10 cents. Okay, we're at 8.1. We are the lowest taxing entity. We also have a very large territory that we take care of. So I kind of agree with Dave though here. You're not gonna give it to, like I say, we didn't budget it in there either because we didn't know. But I do agree with Rice, Dave Rice, that if you do fund something, you need to start applying this money to infrastructure and our communications. But I don't see why, 4 and 5 should keep on giving the county money that you're gonna cut us off. We're having to cover, a lot of Stockdale area and stuff, and our territory is growing, so, I think if you're gonna take it away from everybody.
Well, I think what Mr. Gomez was explaining was that the 1, 2, and 3 have been funded for years. And now they've been collecting their tax for several years, which allows them to understand what their projected annual revenue should be.
Okay,
And what their expenditures are.
with our
4 and
8.5
5,
rate,
4 and 5 won't know that,
right,
being new.
but their rate's already maxed out.
But they haven't collected anything yet.
We're at 8.1, and with legislation right now, we can only grow 20% of our income to make that 10 cents. That's gonna take probably a time of 4 to 5 years to make that.
Well, the
So,
point is, 4 and 5 would get the same support 1, 2, and 3 did when they first started out for 5 or 6 or 10 years on we've been in existence. But at some point, you need to be able to stand on your own feet.
well, their income's
Because if you're
already
a
over $1
separate
million.
taxing entity, then we have no say over. I'm a taxpayer too. I mean, you say, I'm gonna go up to 10 cents, I'm gonna say, not on my house. But yeah, it is. So at some point, yeah, y'all need to be able to stand on your own. All I'm saying is right now, I don't think we should just cut y'all loose. I think we should have given y'all proper warning and notice that we're not gonna fund you this year. Who knows what the economy's gonna be like next year after this presidential election? I wanted to give y'all a chance to sit back today and go, okay, we'll get this one last time, most of you. So we better get on the ball for next year and plan how we're gonna operate and fund things. Because next year could be a hell of a year.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor.
Also,
Got a second by Commissioner Hyatt. Is there any more discussion? Okay, this is to fund all, volunteers, EMSs, ESDs, as it has been. Then what's in the budget? Okay. Is there any more questions, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. You got Commissioner Fowler against it? Okay.
Judge, just a matter of note about taxing in general. I broke mine down last year. Out of all the taxes that I pay within Wilson County for different school taxes and hospital and so forth, 23.4% of the tax I paid last year was to the county.
And 75% or 74%?
It could be still more, 76%.
76% would do.
Went to other entities, the school district being the largest of the group, had 60% of my tax money went to the school. But there are other ESDs and other things that, it's 1% here, 2% there, but it's just another
Watershed
one.
districts.
And now, that's me, 23.4%.
Yeah.
first responders out there, I appreciate what you do. That's a good work to be prepared next year. It could be a crazy year.
Okay, we're moving right along. Agenda item number 21, Ernest Skip Hyatt, Commissioner 3, discuss and take action on transferring any and all allocated funds from the fire and EMS stipends that do not, not distributed to the various entities of the general fund, so we don't have that, so we can just move right on.
Right.
To agenda item number 22, Leanne Bocas, PNC. 22B, naming Product Lane and Precinct 4 Crystal Lane. Review it.
Yep, Commissioner.
Who named that one?
Who's that name?
location maps of where
This is off 470.
this private, one is off of 470. Where it's located.
Is this property at the end of that lane? Is this?
Yes, yeah.
Who owns that property?
I can't remember the name either. They bought that property at the end. He's built a beautiful place back there, and apparently he is giving some to, portion to, I guess, a couple of siblings.
Okay.
And so identify the name Lane. Easement.
Okay, that's the old Bain place.
Is that what that is?
Yes. Not the old Bain place, I guess it's, maybe it is the old Bain place. And that is a new private road.
It'll be a new private road.
Yeah,
Yes, a new private road.
because for years, the county road dead ended right into that cowboy, went into the Bain.
Yes, sir. I make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Hyde, that we approve naming, the new private fiscal aid. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. We got, okay, 22B, utility permit, 22B1, permit number 616, Southern Springs Water Supply Corporation, Precinct 4, County Road 401, review and approve. We have to do these separately, I guess.
Yes, there are different precincts.
So there, that's by Jackson Nation. I make a motion that we approve the SS Water Board on County Road 401.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Wiley, second by Commissioner Fowle, we approve the board. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we're going to 22B2, permit number 617, Oak Hill Water Supply Corporation, Precinct 2, Bentwood, review and approve. Yep, way down there, Will. Motion by Commissioner Fowle to approve the board. Second by Commissioner Gomez. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Do I sign this, Dickie Jackson?
That's the way it came in.
Or use one of your aliases.
Okay, now we're moving to 22, C, non-standard mass variances. C1, 234 Quail Drive, Precinct 3, Johansson, discuss and take action. What is he doing?
There, this came before the committee on, the 3rd, and he owns 3.7, Mr. Johansson owns 3.747 acres, Quail Drive, and he wants to subdivide that into 2 lots. And he's gonna, put mobile homes on the lots and sell the lots with the mobile homes. Quail Drive, he's met all the requirements, the water
That's off
and
of
electrical
Quail.
requirements of a Quail Drive. Quail Ridge Drive.
Quail Ridge subdivision. Would that be the 307 right at the beginning of, no, it'd be 307.
Yeah, it's Quail Ridge subdivision, lot 17. Yes, and the committee gave a favorable recommendation.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll make the motion to approve the variance.
Motion by Commissioner Hyde,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Wiley to approve the variance. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Is that it? Review? Okay. Now we're going to agenda item number 23, which is Jackson County Judge Edwin Baker Health and Public Safety discuss and take action on lifting the burn ban.
Do I need to say anything? Are y'all good? I think everybody, there's only one little corner that hadn't had the rain, and it's in Albert's precinct, right on the Bear, Atascosa, Wilson County line, but our KBDI is a little over 200 right now. It will go up if we don't get more rain, but we got time.
He's got a hole in the ring. Is there any grass there, or will it burn anyway?
There ain't nothing to burn,
Nothing will burn.
just that small piece.
I think we need to do a burn ban just so, or drop it just so whenever you come back and ask for it again, it'll rain, because every time we do a burn ban, it rains.
It didn't work this time very well.
It worked, it took it a while.
Yeah, it didn't kick in for about 2 or 3 weeks.
I'll make a motion to go ahead and lift it.
Motion by Commissioner Gomez, second by Commissioner Fowle. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries to lift the burn ban. Okay, now we're going to agenda item number 24, Eva S. Martinez, County Clerk, minutes.
Yes, and I have handed those out, Judge, and they have been reviewed by myself and Ms. Katz.
I approve them as soon as they bring it to me. Done. Make a motion? Motion by Commissioner Hyatt to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Wiley. Anybody had any questions? Okay, any comments, any additions? Okay, all in favor? of the minutes? Aye. Any opposed? Minutes carried. Okay, agenda item number 25, Jan Hardle, financial report. Jan? None? Okay, then we're going to transfer to agenda item number 26, J.T. Butterford, Human Resource General Specialist, payroll and personnel changes.
Gabrielle Landrum began working as a full-time grants assistant with the auditor's office, making $18.27 per hour or $38,000 annually effective August 31st. This is Gabrielle. Brian Crasher began working as a patrol deputy with the sheriff's department, making $18.32 per hour or $40,000 annually effective August 21st. Damian Aguilar began working as a patrol deputy with the sheriff's department, making $18.32 per hour or $40,000 annually effective September 7th. Jason Cook began working as a corrections officer with the sheriff's department, making $14.65 per hour or $32,000 annually effective September 2nd. And Justin Resendez began working as a corrections officer with the sheriff's department, making $14.65 per hour or $32,000 annually effective September 4th. Randall Davis has been promoted to corporal bailiff at the sheriff's department and will be receiving rate pay in the amount of $25 per month. Ruby Camarillo has been promoted to chief deputy tax in the tax office and will be making $20.33 per hour or $42,295.35 annually effective August 31st. Kristen Richardson has been promoted to chief deputy auto in the tax office and will be making $19.23 per hour or $40,000 annually effective August 31st. And Patty Zamora has been promoted to lead customer service specialist and will be making $13.70 per hour or $28,496 annually effective August 31st. Devin McComber has been promoted to full-time customer service tax specialist in the tax office and will be making $12.02 per hour or $25,000 annually effective September 8th. Angela Luevino resigned from her position as a corrections officer at the sheriff's department effective September 6th. Curtis Wallace was terminated from his position as a corrections officer at the sheriff's department effective August 31st. And then retirements, Rachel Castro retired from her position as the chief deputy in the tax office effective August 31st after 22 years of service.
Thank you. Okay, there are no line item changes or anything that should be, have any action on. This is informational. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, agenda item number 27, Brenda Trevino, County Auditor. Bill, do you have a financial report also?
No.
Okay, just Bill.
Total bills, let's go around, don't croak over, $496,426.92. Of that, the $101,000 is already in there for the grant recipients as well as the distribution of the hotel occupancy tax funds that we had already approved.
And if you look at county and district courts, they're getting active again, so it's going up. And we had $10,000 worth of autopsies this last period.
Those from accident or just?
It varies. What we're finding is that every JP
Yeah.
missing.
Mr. Gomez, we approve the bills. Is there any more questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Okay. And agenda item number 28 is adjournment at 10:56.